The Bastard Movie Archives, Hangover, with Andy and Max. You never asked for it. Hey, let's start this shit. Let's do.
That was a whole episode practically.
Yeah.
How long was that?
What?
Do you even know?
Oh no, I didn't keep track. Max and I were just talking about things we like.
Yeah, we like.
Maybe we'll bring some of that up later.
Yeah, maybe I'll just post that weird shit on the week off.
Yeah,
just post weird shit.
Stuff we like.
Whatever. Anyway, so we just watched Last Ounce of Courage.
Right, Last Ounce of Courage. I'm Andy Steinhauer.
And I'm Max Weiland.
And we are both drinking Accumulation Ale.
Yep, by New Belgium, from the homeland.
From the homeland.
And, yeah, this is the Bastard Movie Archives Hangover. Did you say that already?
I didn't. No,
okay.
Good
yeah,
call.
that's what this is.
That's
our
what
show.
This is.
There's a title at the beginning, so you illiterate fuck.
We have to repeat it because this is radio.
We're on radio. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, so this movie was obviously like.
First off, you're the one who always forces us to start these things talking about bullshit lives and all this garbage that we have to do. I can't believe I'm defending this position.
Yeah. Oh man, what have we been up to lately? Yeah.
Well, I was gone.
Yeah, Max got to go back to the homeland.
Yeah, I was back in Colorado/Wyoming for a few days, so I'm exhausted.
I'll be back there 2 days from now for a couple weeks for Christmas.
For Andy's family and everything, Christmas is very special. For my family, fuck Christmas, Star Wars came out, so I had to go back and see that with my mom and my brother because that's what is important in our family. Mm-hmm. So we went back and watched Star Wars, and then I saw a few people.
It's going to be nice though. I mean, it's nice to have a break, even though everything compounds because we really need to be like working.
Yeah,
It's nice to step away and just clear the head and not think about life further.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with, if you just go back to Colorado, it's fine. I was bouncing between Colorado and Wyoming, so I did a lot of travel within my travel.
A lot of miles.
Yeah. So it was good. It was exhausting, but it was nice to get up to my mom's place. I mean, there's like 98 people in that town, so it's literally in the middle of the mountains, nowhere.
Hey, I also want to plug our recent short film because we just made Max and I do a Christmas special every year.
Yeah.
And this is the third year of Christmas specials. And,
yeah, we just released that today, so this will be when this airs. It'll have been out for a week.
And we're pretty proud of this one. It's like 3.5 minutes long, and it's a horror Christmas special poem.
Yep.
And we're pretty proud of it. If you want to check that out, it's a lot of fun, and it's sort of cynical Christmas fun things. It's
back to what I love to do, which is generally horror.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called The Christmas Gift, and it's definitely a what's in the box. If you've seen Old Boy or Seven, you know that anytime you open up a box, it's a bad thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
but check that out.
We did that. Yeah. What else? What's new with life, Andy? What are you doing?
Oh well, I was on hold for a commercial that would have made me a very kind of wealthy man, and then they pulled out the rug at the last second.
Wow, that doesn't sound like Hollywood at all.
Yeah. When you're on hold for a commercial, what that means is they tell you to clear your schedule because it's like either between you and someone else, or they're trying to leverage you to get somebody else to
because
take
you don't
less
have
money,
a job.
or well, I have many jobs, but
right.
Yeah, so I had to miss work to go to callbacks and all this shit.
On a thing you missed out on money to not make any money because they didn't choose you anyway.
So that hurts. Yeah. Only be an actor if you really mean it, because fuck.
And of course I got slammed with work while I was gone, and now everything's exploding in my face.
Yep.
Returning. So.
Oh, the freelancer lifestyle.
Yeah, it's woo.
Anyway, we'll stop belly aching and do this movie, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. Last Ounce of Courage. One of my
forgetting the
favorite...
title of the thing.
Yep. Well, because all you have to remember is he gave his life with every last ounce of courage
for Christmas.
So this is a movie that I have an entire database of Christian, either Christian like.
Propaganda? Is that the word
usually
you're looking for?
Usually it's like propaganda, but it's always propaganda that deals with like the future, the eventual. It's all shit leading up to what what they would believe would be either the second coming or, you know, just revelations in general. But I have an entire collection of these movies that I watch every Christmas.
Of course you do.
Yeah, you know, because that's what I do with my life. So, you know, things like God is Not Dead is great. Kevin Sorbo being a philosophy professor. I actually placed that one before this one because this is about how being religious in school gets banned. And then there's some other ones. The The Left Behind with Nicolas Cage is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the old '90s Left Behind series is pretty great. But then I was telling Andy, we just discovered these Tennessee Christploitation movies that get even more intense.
I'm really excited.
They're
for those.
really hard to get. I don't want to admit the fact that I'm probably having to give money to a church to get some of those DVDs. So just so you know, I'm fucking sacrificing my money to a goddamn Tennessee church to get some of these movies. So, but this one is one of my favorites. Jordan and I used to watch this one a lot, so way back in the day. So, Last Ounce of Courage, biker, American, Jesus-loving.
Jordan, by the way, does Let's Play videos.
Yeah, he does Let's Plays over at BS Playtime. You should go check it out. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He does.
If you enjoy Let's Play, go see him.
Yeah, yeah.
But we this movie starts out with a very, very long intro about a son going to war and this whole family.
Yeah, the prologue is their whole like found. It's not even just him going to war. It's like their high school like romance footage. And shit. Yeah.
It's very exactly what you would expect. If you're not very good at making movies and you want to be emotionally manipulative,
but they got talent. They got like actual like TV talent for this.
Sure, yeah. Some of the actors,
because religious people have money.
Well, you know, I really think that some of the people acting in this, they really believe in it maybe too much.
No, I'm pretty sure most of the people that were in this are
like that might have been a prerequisite.
Yeah, that was a thing that they do. I do know that the TV guys, like, they're probably religious, I'm assuming. Hammer, probably I bet you.
You don't think so?
Maybe, but
you know,
not that kind. He's most certainly like old school about it. In terms of like old school like Southern Baptist, because I mean that's like old Shaft era shit. So
I just wish that because I am a little bit of a religious person, that I would see some sort of movie made by religious people that wasn't so much of an exploitation / heavy-handed
right.
film.
Well, this one's super political.
It's super
that's
political.
The point of it. The point of it is like not distinguishing between.
I mean,
America.
Huckabee makes a fucking guest appearance.
Yeah. Well, is it? Well, Bill O'Reilly.
I'm sorry, Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly.
That's who I meant.
Bill O'Reilly does. So it's one
white people all look the same.
So, but this is not. It's not like watching. It's not like this movie's not like Prince of Egypt, or you know, like some old famous biblical story or
right.
anything.
Well,
you know,
Ten Commandments, good movie.
Yeah, Ten Commandments. Yeah, with Charlton Heston.
It's an actual movie.
Or even Ben-Hur, even though it's not a biblical movie in the sense it takes place around Christ.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
That one counts though, I think.
Yeah, like it's not like, or I mean, even if you want to go into like more subversive stuff, go into like Last Temptation of Christ by Scorsese. It's not actually dealing with the faith. It's dealing with the faith in the context of a very politicized environment.
Right, because Last Temptation of Christ is another good one. I think,
it's my favorite Jesus movie. Yeah, I love that movie.
It's a good movie, and it's not really telling you what to think. It's just trying to tell a story.
Yeah, it's telling the story of the crisis of faith.
But it's
the crisis of faith. Yeah, and it's a great movie. If anyone ever asks what kind of Jesus movie I would recommend, it is that movie.
And movies like that don't get made anymore.
No, because everything has to be
so political. Yeah,
this movie does not deal with faith at all. It is completely and utterly how the Grinch stole Christmas. The Grinch being the modern liberal America that exists.
Anyway, we have this long intro, and it's ridiculous and emotionally manipulative, and then the son dies.
The wife is pregnant. Son dies,
right? And
then we skip forward 14 years later, where the family is finally back for Christmas.
Yep.
Where now Mr. Grandpa, the dad,
he's the main character.
Yeah, Mr. Grandpa, who is the pharmacist mayor biker, and all around
self-proclaimed Huguenot.
He's the everyman.
As long as you're wealthy enough to have 2 extra vehicles and a massive garage
you're
and a huge house,
wealthy.
and you can support your wife and your son's wife and
notice how none
kids.
of the wives worked in this.
Oh, no, nobody works. It's
very traditionally American.
It's
values.
a very bygone American. Yeah, show me a household that doesn't have dual income and still gets by.
Yeah.
But they're doing this thing, and then some biker comes in to his pharmacy and asks, "Fix me up, doc."
Yeah, a little person who
There's
runs
a little
his own
person,
MC.
yeah.
No, he's the leader.
Oh, he's the
leader of the MC.
Oh,
of
wow.
His little
He doesn't
motorcycle
say
club.
much.
No, he doesn't, except for he's obviously the moral compass of he's the what's his name from Sons of Anarchy. He's the moral compass of the whole crew of the MC, except for they're all Jesus-loving bikers.
And nobody bothered to actually learn anything about motorcycle culture because they keep on calling it a gang. Everybody calls it a gang.
Yeah, they never call it a club.
Yeah, it's a club. It's not a gang.
Yeah, it's an MC.
Which is a very important distinction, apparently. But
no, it is. It's a very important distinction.
Legally and socially.
Yeah, when you're in court, that distinction is going to come up.
But they go in there because this big dumb member has been shot, and then they establish
he shot himself.
They establish that because it's like, oh, but they're like a nice motorcycle gang. He shot himself.
Yeah, you're originally thinking they're badass, and then they walk in and they have like anti-Satan patches on their backs, and they always pick up like as if like I don't know how to feel about this, but like they always pick up the leader and put him on the table so he's as tall as everybody else, and that always seems a little like, is that okay?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know any little people.
If you're like a dwarf or just a little person in general, like
I got to work with a very nice guy named Sammy the Dwarf on a commercial once.
Yeah,
but we didn't get to know each other well enough for me to ask questions like, "Do you like it when people pick you up
and put you on tables so you can be as tall as everyone else?" Yeah. See, that makes me think it's wrong. That's what makes me think it's wrong.
That it was awkward for me to ask.
Yeah, that's what makes me think it might be wrong. So. But anyway, that's what they do.
He fixes up his gun wound because I guess a person who works behind the counter at a pharmacy knows how to mend wounds.
Yeah, because he's the mayor and the everyman, and he knows everything.
And can illegally prescribe Keflex so he doesn't die.
He essentially becomes the voice of Jesus by the end of this movie.
Well, except for the actual Jesus.
No, but he speaks through him in jail. Because
Jesus speaks through him. Oh, yes.
Now, to be fair, and I know we're jumping ahead here, but to be fair, like, the only viable thing in this is that Jesus would be in jail. Like, if Jesus did come back today, like, he'd be in jail or dead. So it makes sense that, like, he would be in jail with him.
I don't know, because, like, a Jesus in modern day would have to do some crazy shit, like, to be...
A bearded Arab?
Yeah, first of all, he would be, maybe he wouldn't be born white, and then that'd be a problem for most Americans.
I just mean like he would wind up in jail. Actually, to be fair, he'd be dead in jail probably.
Because he would be born in the Middle East and killed.
Yeah, or if he was
like
born
what
here
happened?
as a bearded Arab, he would wind up on someone's watch list and dead. Or you know what? Actually,
man.
just to work, he'd probably be black if he came back.
I would hope Jesus. He'd be that'd be better if Jesus.
In
were
modern
black.
America, well, if he was, and then he goes
because
into the
he would be
temples and
among the
starts
poor.
And he starts going into the temples and raising hell about how they're fucking everything up. He'd be dead.
Yeah,
because the LAPD does not give a fuck. They would just kill you.
He'd walk into a mega church and start kicking over their fundraising shit. Because he did that in the Bible, and then they would forget that
just
maybe churches aren't supposed to make money off the populace.
Can we just unleash Black Jesus on Colorado Springs?
Oh, Colorado Springs would be the first to murder Jesus,
right?
Woo.
Yeah, be great.
Anyway, so where are we? Oh, we start learning slowly.
So Sun, we have Sugar Ray Sun.
We have Sugar Ray. Yeah, he's got these like highlights in his hair that are very 90s.
This entire movie is trapped in the 90s.
It really is. But we start learning slowly through the narrative that it's the future, and it's like a Christian dystopian future.
Yeah, where Bibles aren't allowed in school.
Well, and they keep on. So it's like kind of the now future where they're like, well, there's no rule against it, but we don't want to upset anyone is kind of the big deal.
Right.
So,
I guess, but it's still the dystopian future where prayer groups in the morning around the American flag don't happen anymore.
Yeah,
which is still a thing, I'm pretty sure.
I never really understood that, because when I was in high school, like there were people did pray and it was fine. And
there was no one. The difference was no one prayed in class. People prayed in the morning. There was a whole Christian club.
Yeah, there was like a club
that went and prayed at around the flagpole in the morning.
And in my school, they all met in this like solarium where there were some tables and stuff.
Yeah.
And
see, I was a shitty person, and I hacked the high school PA system and played Nine Inch Nails' "God Is Dead" when they were doing that. But I was a shitty person.
That's really shitty of you.
Yeah, I was a really shitty person when I was in high school. I was a very angry person.
But I think the conceit of this movie is, I think that if things keep going like they are, you're gonna have all your freedoms taken away from you to practice your religion.
Yeah, your religious freedoms.
And it seems silly, and it's the shitty thing is it's like something that is kind of important to talk about with PC culture happening and stuff. But this movie just like does everything against itself.
Yeah, well, this was where we were talking about. So there's a play,
right?
That's happening.
There's a school play
that the kids are involved in. So it seems like the mom and the son have moved back to the town,
right?
Because he's going to the school now.
Yeah. It's sort of this family with the dead son, all kind of.
And Grandpa's kind of mad that she left with him anyway when he was an infant, because the son died, because his dad died in this whatever war that was apparently to save Christmas. Or whatever the war was fought over, because that's the primary motivation for people to act in this, is dad died for our freedoms, so we should. It's very strange.
The causation is never really established, but it's like we're going to war to save Christian Christmas. Is sort of, I guess.
Regardless of the fact that they complain so much about tearing down pagan symbols. Which is my favorite part. It's like I get it if they're sitting there saying, like, when he says they made us take down a cross, but they're like, they made us take down a Christmas tree, and I'm like, oh yeah, that old Germanic pagan symbol,
right? Or
the reindeer or whatever. I'm just like, these are all, what are we talking about here?
Also, that's so. And again, that's so ridiculous. We're in liberal Los Angeles, and there's Christmas decorations in a lot
everywhere.
of the towns. Yeah, like it's
no one. So this is clearly a dystopian future that has not occurred yet.
Right.
Where that's happening. But what's interesting about it is, so they move back to the town, and this theater director.
High school theater director.
Yeah, high school theater director is doing a Winter Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
it's his like big like alien, but it's the nativity
almost
story.
Word for word, except for replacing certain words. It's
with
the nativity,
Xanadu and shit. Or like alien words. Like
there's even Christmas
words.
Carols with the words replaced.
They even play Silent Night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I think they just replayed Silent Night Winter Night instead of Holy Night.
Yeah, something like that.
It
was
the
Winter Night.
Dumbest excuse for like it. Like so we thought that this guy was actually the subversive Christian hero,
right?
Of the story, because he was subverting.
Because if the school's saying you can't do nativity play for Christmas, then he's like, well, shit, I'm gonna do the nativity play, but just replace all the words so everybody sees how ridiculous this is.
Yeah.
And if it would have been that guy's story, it would have been like it would have been valid. It would have been. It would have validated the whole argument.
Yeah. Well, if anyone knows, the way that many of these religions proliferated, particularly when they were cults, was literally by doing the exact same thing.
And that's why we're left with so many of these symbols.
Yeah, is by couching a religious ideology or a tale. I mean, this is literally where symbolism and metaphors come from in stories, is by couching these things to bypass authoritative, like be it the patriarchy, or not patriarchy, but be it the monarchies or even the clergy or anything, by trying to subvert these by telling a story that's clouded in their own speak that they can't directly criticize you for.
And today we end up with a holiday that is not on the correct date with not the correct symbols, but it's still Christian.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's an amalgamation of pagan iconography, shopping, and Jesus.
Which is great. I love Christmas.
Yeah, I'm a big Christmas guy too. But I didn't, it just doesn't.
But your point's still valid.
Yeah,
But
But I think that's the funny thing is, like, if they had any understanding of history, they would know that the hero of that story should have been the fucking theater director.
Well,
because
according to a group that might be associated with the group of people who made this movie in Texas, they weren't slaves; they were workers. So, rewriting a little history is good for the soul.
It's good for right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway, they start taking part. Their big, like, the kids scheme, the Scooby-Doo scheme, as it is to undermine the sci-fi nature of the story and make it literally the nativity.
Right.
To make it the sort of where they take off their clothes and dress up like what most white folk would consider terrorists and talk about the birth of baby Jesus.
And meanwhile, while this is going on, like the mayor slash pharmacist
is fighting his own war for Christmas.
Yeah, he's like putting up decorations while people are telling him not to, and putting up trees while people are telling him not to.
Yeah, the tree thing is funny because that's what gets torn down. They don't tear down a cross.
Well, they tear down the tree, but then it's magically up again later. And when they tear down the tree too, it's like, in my mind, I'm like, well, wouldn't you just pick the tree back up again?
All the symbols that they actually tear down. So here, and this is another thing. So they don't tear down any crosses. They bring up the cross, and then he goes to jail, but they never tear it down. They only tear down the pagan symbol of Christmas, or one of the pagan symbol, like what has been inducted into modern Christmas, the pagan symbol. But the other symbol that they might maybe shit on a little bit is the American flag that he puts over his motorcycle.
Oh yeah,
which is not like. And Andy asked this. He's like, it could just be like a blade, but when he pulls it off, it's a fucking flag.
Yeah, I gave the movie the benefit of the doubt, which was a mistake, that it was like some sort of American flag painted like cover. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was just a flag.
No, it was a flag. And I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that.
I think, right? You're not supposed to, like...
And the flag that he has on his bike is low enough that it may touch the ground.
Oh, yeah, because whenever he rides his bike anywhere, it's got a giant flag on the back.
And I think, like, because it's not blowing in the wind, I think it may touch the ground. And it's funny that, like, you would be a stickler about those things, but I think you and I might agree on that. Like, we could be a little stickler.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of freedom in America.
Yeah, you don't let that shit touch the ground.
Yeah, you respect some of those symbols, right? Shit. Anyway, so there's all this stuff going on while the children are doing their Scooby-Doo stuff, and then there's some like big wig state legislator,
the Hammer, which is an old school, like, okay, I gotta look him up because he's either a sports star or I'm pretty sure he was an old 1970s blaxploitation guy.
Yeah, but they get this guy to come down and be like, you have to stop doing this, and we're gonna get an injuction against you.
They call him Hammerstein the Hammer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a couple scenes in there. Like there's one during a town hall meeting where there are a bunch of people there, maybe the whole town, and
that's how many people are in the town.
They have this argument where they never actually argue the subject matter. They just sort of argue back and forth, where the mayor makes some really stupid points that aren't about the subject, and then the main character fires back with like, "America, don't you believe in freedom? And we're just practicing our religion, and you're it's just really vapid political speak."
Oh fuck, that's right. Okay, yes. He sorry. So he's Fred Williamson, who if you don't know, was a Oakland Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs football star who became prominent as one of the male action stars during the blaxploitation age.
So you were right on both counts.
Yes. Wow, man, he looks really fucking good. He was born in the 30s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was born in 1938.
That dude's like 80 something?
He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. Of course he was, because it's
oh my
Tarantino.
God, he was that guy.
Black Caesar. He was in Black Caesar. Yeah. Yep. So just so you know, that's who we're talking about.
From titty movie to not titty movie.
Well, they had to get their villain from somewhere, I guess.
I watched Dusk Till Dawn last week, by the way, and holds up. Great movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's written by... that was directed by Rodriguez, I believe.
Yeah. Tarantino was in it. He wasn't directing it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He was totally in Night Vision, too. Yep. So anyway, yeah. So...
Anyway, there's all this bullshit going on, and it's all very flag-waving and very much... it's very much, if you agree with the point of view, it's
a propaganda film.
It's a propaganda film.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's a propaganda film. So it's not going to convince you if you're. It's going to look ridiculous if you're on the outside, but from the inside, it's going to hit all those emotional beats. Like when they start playing Silent Night, but then we haven't even gotten to like the big point where like here's where I think it gets like. This is the reason why I show this movie is because of what happens in the final act. Is because of how like offensively subversive it gets in a fucked up way with what the kid does with his dad and the videotape.
Oh, yeah.
This movie literally, its emotional core relies on a snuff film.
It's this part's a real bummer to me, to be honest.
It is. It's fucked up.
Because the school's doing its play, and the kids are actually having their Scooby-Doo moment where they've like locked the drama teacher in the closet.
But then the kid who's
he
done
locks
nothing,
him in the closet.
He locks
in the closet where he fucking should be. Get it? Yeah, because they
Did
make
you just go there?
They make this theater teacher like really stereotypical.
Andy was
bad.
even like, I bet you they directed him saying like you want to fuck all these children.
They really go over the top with this guy. But I mean, because I personally know a high school drama teacher, and she's the coolest person ever, and she's not at all a turtleneck wearing insane person.
My drama teacher from high school would have fucking made fun of that dude because my high school drama teacher was Mr. Carter, and he was like one of the coolest fucking guys ever, but he would have shat on that guy.
Anyway, they lock him in the closet.
Of course they do. No, didn't they lock the principal in the closet?
No, the principal comes out at the end and does a slow clap.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
no,
they lock the drama teacher in the closet where he fucking should be, and then the drama teacher comes out after. But here's the thing: they do their nativity play, and then they bring this big projection screen down.
Yeah. But here's the thing: so the kid, this Sugar Ray kid, the kid of the dead dad who's got the grandpa who's fighting the war for Jesus, he like. They have a videotape. No, there's a video camera, but they never explain how that got out of the eventual fucked upness where that camera winds up, which I'm assuming everyone's dead.
Right.
But the big thing is they get this camera back that they gave to their son.
They gave to the son that went to war. They gave a shitty old camera, and that's
and his
like
grandpa's like protecting him from that last tape. Like,
you can't watch the last tape where the son dies.
Yeah,
because the son is literally doing like a vlog, and then a bomb explodes right outside and kills the whole squad.
And they're clearly in a war zone and being fired at.
But the audio is really bad though, because I don't know if they knew this, but like war is kind of loud, and you can barely hear what's going on.
I do love the background actor who's right behind him, who's just kind of like staring off into space, and then at one point just looks over the corner and is like, "Yeah, there's nothing there. That's fine."
Oh, he looks so bored.
He looks super bored.
But anyway, they're doing the play, and then the screen rolls down, and they play the last video.
Yeah, Sugar Ray Kid plays, and here's now we didn't even talk about the fact that mom and best friend of dead husband are already like getting all sexy together.
Oh yeah. Well, they're purity ringing it up because they're about to kiss once, and they cut away at the last second before they kiss. They cut away to her kissing the cross in front of her husband's picture. They
do. That is some clever.
Even though they still kissed.
Yep.
Even though they still kissed.
They still kissed. But you want to know what's a little weird about that? Is because it seemed like they were setting up like a little thing between the two kids.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's setting up a real weird rom-com where it's like, well, my mom and your dad are together now, so what does that make us, even though I kind of want to see you naked?
I thought they were related, like actually related.
No, they're not actually.
They're not actually.
No, that girl's the daughter of the best friend.
Oh, okay, because they look like the same person.
We were talking over the part where he talks about his wife being a secularist.
Aha.
Because they don't believe in Jesus.
Because they look like the same person.
Oh, and she had affairs because she doesn't believe in Jesus.
Right. Everyone who doesn't believe in Jesus has affairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's divorce rate among Christians is not record
It's
high.
Non-existent.
Right.
It's zero.
Right. It's not 51%. So anyway, they these kids that like each other look like the same person. It's just that they put a giant wig on the female.
You are convinced that that's a wig.
It's such bad hair,
it's
dude.
It's super bad hair. Well, I'm just saying that's because it was the 90s. It wasn't the 90s.
It's not the 90s, though. That's the fucked up part, but it's stuck
like,
in the 90s.
It's just like Portland.
It's Portlandia.
It's Portlandia. All Christian nations are literally living in the 90s.
It's bizarro Portlandia.
Yeah, because at that point, they still haven't recovered from the fact that Bill Clinton's president.
Oh.
They're still living in the Reagan-Bush era.
Was a better era in many ways.
With the dot-com boom.
Anyway, but they look like the same person, and
they
we
do.
assume
They
that,
look super similar.
So they where were we? They play this video, and it's the
video of his dad dying.
He's doing a vlog, and then a bomb explodes mid-vlog, and everybody's crying and feeling the spirit of Christmas for some reason.
And people are standing up and doing the salute.
Right, there's a veteran there. There's a veteran there wearing camouflage and having his arm in a sling.
Yeah, in a sling. That's right.
Which means he got injured recently.
I think he was putting up a Christmas tree as his own sign of protest and fell off a ladder.
That sounds likely.
Probably. Dude, I used to know guys that lived on my street when I was growing up that were all ex-Vietnam guys that would always be packing and wearing camo, even though it was fucking Chandler, Arizona.
I just, jeez, I just like how it's like when the Rush Limbaugh's like, I'm not saying, I'm just asking questions, and this film is not saying that we went to war for Christmas. It's just implying that like maybe a little bit.
We may have done that.
Did we go to war for Christmas?
I think we did.
Did we go to war for Christmas?
I think we went to war for Christmas.
Anyway, the grandpa meets Jesus in jail.
We forgot the fact that he was a Medal of Honor winner.
Right. When he's going to jail, I don't remember why. Oh, he went to jail because he hung up a cross on something.
Yeah. And we talked about this a little bit. So I don't know. Like, I'm a big and I think Andy's on board with me here. So I'm a big you respect that shit. Like, that's shit to be respected. Yeah. So, but like, that was the thing is like, do you think that was fake, or did they borrow it off somebody, or is like, it just seems like a weird thing for me to like a prop to have.
I don't know. It was a prop. In all ways, it was a prop.
I think they do movies where people get the Medal of Honor, right? Like biopics, they've done that before, haven't they?
Well, what we were talking about is like, if I were to go make a movie and I needed a Medal of Honor for my cast member who was supposed to have a Medal of Honor, would I build or find or buy a prop, or would I go to a Medal of Honor winner and say like, we really respect you, we would like to use your Medal of Honor?
Yeah.
You know, which is, how do you do that?
But it seems like a Medal of Honor is like rare enough that it's like that individual medal is like reminiscent of a certain thing.
Yeah.
It's like a very specific thing that occurred.
Right.
That like because there's only been like what 70 of those, or like not even. It's something super small.
I have no idea.
But it's like, so anyway, it's one of those things that's it's like that medal is reminiscent of something very specific. It's not just like a Purple Heart where it's a dude got shot or shrapnel or something. It's like that is a very specific thing. So.
But he goes to jail and for hanging up a cross
with his Medal of Honor because he saved people.
Right.
So which makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
And then they use a bunch of when he's talking about Vietnam to his wife, they're acting really hard.
They're acting hard and then mixing shitty footage shot in a backyard with
actual stock footage from Vietnam,
which is a little weird.
I had a bit of a problem with that because we're watching footage of some of these guys who probably didn't make it home, like fighting for their lives and their beliefs, mixed in with this like shitty movie and backyard war footage, and it was really disrespectful.
It's obviously Vietnam footage.
Yeah. It straight up is. Yeah.
And so it's very highly likely that those guys didn't make it back. So it's real fucked up to think about.
So we not only have the snuff footage of the dad dying in a
but also like
war.
like it's different than when you watch on the History Channel or something where you're watching like a biopic.
Well, yeah, they're trying so hard to be respectful and just tell the story.
Yeah, and not just about these guys all died for Christmas.
Yeah, not Glenn Beck's wet dream.
Which, by the way, is totally what this grandpa was doing. Is like I consider
Glenn
half
Beck's
the things
white
that
dream.
Glenn Beck does nowadays as art projects. It's like Shia LaBeouf and his weird art projects. It's like the conservative version of that. So it's like when he was in that little like the whatever it is when you go work on power lines, the big like
cherry picker.
Cherry picker.
Yeah.
Like when he's in that leaning down over, like still in his cherry picker over, and the girl's handing him the mic. Like that seemed like a weird Glenn Beck art project to me. It's like something like that.
Really, that's a common male fantasy, though, to be a guy who knows what's right, and despite what everybody says, you're
with all the
do
blonde
it.
female reporters that are surrounding them constantly.
I just mean the fact that like if you are unyielding in your beliefs, you will eventually be right if you hammer hard enough and not listen to anyone. It's a classic.
But it's funny because
trope.
notice the villain does that too.
Sure.
There's like no difference.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting question: is if you portray your hero and your villain as being systemically the same, although you're on opposite sides, is that fundamentally the dichotomy that exists between good and evil in Christian thought or modern Christian thought? Is that evil is evil and good is good, but like systemically they're the same. They function by the same principles. It's just one is right and one is wrong. It's not the means that they use are right or wrong. So the difference being like he will stand by his principles and fight as long as fight, but he will never turn the other cheek. Like the systemic actions are exactly the same.
I don't know. I think that whole philosophy is very anti-Jesus. I mean,
right. That's why I mentioned the turn the other cheek.
Right. Okay.
It's because of that. Because it's systemically not at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's no listening involved. But I don't know. At the end of this movie, he gets out of jail because the Christmas pageant, the Christmas show at the school, made everybody's hearts grow 3 sizes that day.
Because of the snuff film.
Because of the snuff film, he gets out of jail.
Yeah.
And then everybody cheers, and there's
Jesus helps too. With
Jesus,
his baby monitor.
Jesus gives him a baby monitor so he can hear the thing. And then he gets out of jail, and the town is there cheering. I don't know why they let him out of jail that night, but they did.
Actually, yeah, I don't think because everyone's heart grew 3 sizes.
Right.
Because of Jesus. Well, yeah.
And then end of movie, pretty much, right? That was pretty much the end. I mean,
it? Yeah, I think that was.
Because there were they showed.
Yeah, because everyone was cheering when they exited the prison house.
Yeah. And then it ended and roll credits, and then we got a nice recap of the entire movie.
And we got a great fucking song. Remember that song?
It was basically "Where Were You when they built that ladder to heaven?" Yeah, it was basically totally that. It was a country Christmas song that I remember hearing a few years ago.
Yeah, but I like the idea that like because the song goes through all the colors of the flag, so obviously red, white, and blue. But I do love the red in the blood spilled that countries you don't remember. I was like, I'm pretty sure of all the things that generally right-wing American politics forgets, which is a lot, they don't forget where people died.
Oh, I think they do. Like they.
No, they don't. They remember. They remember the places that matter, the places that were covert and no one cares about, that actually are involved in world politics. They don't remember.
Yeah, they don't seem to remember Korea very well.
They don't remember Korea. They don't remember Kosovo. They probably don't remember most of the other operations that we've had.
Bay of Pigs.
Right. Cuba. Deal with Cuba. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. But it was a great good old country. It was a good old country song.
Good old country song. These stripes don't run.
So the movie is bookended by Reagan quotes, which it was funny because it got old Reagan quotes.
Yeah, 1964, I think it said. Yeah, they were at the beginning of the movie there was a Reagan quote, and at the end of the movie there was a Reagan quote, and we were
was from 61.
We thought. When we first saw it, we thought it was JFK, just because the recording was so bad that we were like, "Oh shit!" That would have really given a lot of credibility to the movie if they could actually
JFK.
If they could actually associate like a Democrat with this movie.
Well, you could take the JFK quote. What is it? What is that JFK quote about living in living in people that live in the best of times? It's something where living in the worst of times.
Living in the best of times, you're supposed to set the people up to live better in the worst of times.
But the worst of times is when you actually like have a chance at saving.
Yeah.
It was. I can't remember the actual quote by JFK.
I've heard it before.
But it is a really great quote.
Yeah.
And it's totally reminiscent of the Cold War era, the era of Russia and the U.S. It's a very good quote. That quote would have made sense if I legitimately believed that Christians were being oppressed, and it was like pre-Constantine Rome, where Christians are being like eaten alive
Yeah.
in, you know, in the Colosseum, like that. If I had felt that, that would have been an appropriate quote, and that would have given it some validity. You can make a Christian nightmare movie. You just can't make it today when you're literally the political majority.
Yeah, I honestly think that you could make that today. It just needs to be farther in the future, and a little less like charged by modern spur of the moment politics.
Well, you can't make it you can't make it reactionary.
There you go.
So one of my favorite stories is about the supposed sequel to Gladiator, which actually sounds kind of crazy, where it's like Maximus actually becomes a sort of weird metaphor for the acceptance of a singular god against the Greek god or the Roman gods.
Oh, weird.
Where it's all about him in the underworld and coming back from like all these different things about essentially prepping Rome for the coming of Christianity.
Yeah.
It's actually a really compelling story. It's obviously totally insane. It was what Ridley Scott wanted to do after the original Gladiator. But that would have been a compelling story. It just, I have a problem when you try to make when you try to victimize a political majority, and the political majority is dealing with, because it doesn't deal with like PC culture. It's dealing literally with, they are being oppressed. Right.
That's the problem, is because the shit that they want to talk about in this movie is important. I mean, it's really important to, I think a lot of the conservative right, the reason why they feel oppressed is because of PC culture, which is something to definitely talk about. Like, what is, how far does this need to go?
Racist if they're a racist, though.
Sure, absolutely.
But it is like, yeah, it's PC culture tends to be utilized in many ways as like a weird thing. It gets utilized in a way that what you're trying to fight, you become the very thing you're trying to fight, where it becomes as abusive and bullying as the things that they're trying to denounce.
Exactly. A bully is going to use whatever means necessary.
Right, which PC culture does.
We've all encountered that on Facebook, where somebody says something reasonable, and because it uses a certain type of language that may or may not be,
as South Park would say, a microaggression. He or she is a microaggression. You are a bigot.
Yeah, yeah. It's just another way of bullying, and you know, that's something that's really important to address these days, because it's happening a lot.
But it's not doing that. It's and Christianity has a bad history of being able to victimize itself when it's in a position of power. Right. When that's the dangerous thing. That's actually the biggest boon of manipulating people into thinking they're victimized, is because Christianity remember that Christianity came out of a period where they were victimized. Mm-hmm. So the language that is used is very much the we are the oppressed. So even when they're the political and reasonable majority, they are the oppressed. I don't know. It's all, I don't know. I want to get off, because we're getting very political right now. I want to get off this movie. It was I would pitch I want to get off this movie. I would pitch it as do you, if you are of the religious right and want to feel confirmed in your belief that you are oppressed, watch this movie. That's my not very funny pitch. My pitch is Bring It On meets Passion of the Christ. You got me again, man. That's a good one. I want to end with on a positive note. Maybe we can start doing this on what's on a positive note. Yeah, what's good? Like what have you watched or done lately that's good? Because I recently we just arranged all of our old DVDs because we had to save space. We just put them in these little sleeves in a box. And so that just got me watching some old DVDs that we have. And the cool thing about watching old DVDs, maybe you listener have this thing too, where at the advent of the internet and streaming, you kind of started buying a lot less DVDs. So up until about like maybe 2006, 2008, you had a lot of DVDs, and then all of a sudden you don't, because you have Netflix and you start getting all these other million streaming services. Exactly. So when I watch my old DVDs, it's kind of like a time capsule.
And I've been watching them, and it's been really interesting to me just watching and thinking about what holds up and what doesn't, and why that happens. Because I went back and watched all the original Star Wars movies because preparing for the new Star Wars, obviously.
Did you watch the DVDs or the Blu-rays?
DVDs.
Were those the post, like the most recent, where they put like, they put like Anakin back in Return of the Jedi?
They are what you might call the raped versions. Yes.
I don't.
I know it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm not a purist. I think there were some instances where it works and some where it doesn't.
Right.
But overall, I watched those movies and they totally held up. I mean, I haven't watched Star Wars for several years. And obviously those would hold up. And then I went and watched all the prequels, and they were way worse than when I first saw them when they came out. Yeah,
early CG technology.
The CG didn't hold up at all. So it was like what people didn't like about them then were amplified, and it was even worse today. And so I went back and started wondering, what makes these movies tick.
I think 3 holds up. I don't. 2's the one that doesn't for me.
2. I mean, look. That's here nor there. What's good that I loved what held up was I went back and watched Fight Club, because Fight Club for me was this seminal movie, and it does so many weird things, and it has some amount of CG in it, and it's the nihilism is very much of its time, and it held up 100%.
Yeah, you could make a nihilistic movie when everyone had money.
Exactly. It was great. I mean, I loved Fight Club maybe as much as when I first watched it.
I actually hate the CG shots in that movie. I can call them out each one. The fucking because Fincher loves his God camera. He got that. I mean, that's from Kubrick. The God camera, the camera that goes to places you can't go physically. So every single one that he does in Fight Club makes me crazy because Fincher. Watch Fincher from Seven. Fincher's has this like core dirty nastiness that CG just didn't do at that period, and he ran into that problem in the third Alien movie too.
But you know why it worked so well in Fight Club was they had the plane crash scene, which you just couldn't do without CG.
I just hate the apartment scene. The apartment scene drives me crazy.
You don't like the apartment scene?
No, when the stove goes on.
Oh, when the stove goes off. I hate that. I don't hate it as much as you do, but I don't think that's where it shines.
It looks terrible.
I think it shines when there's a fucking penguin in his snow cave.
No,
that was
works.
Fine.
That works.
And then when he's having the sex he doesn't quite remember with Marla.
That's right.
That was all CG. Yeah. And I thought that was very cool, just because it was so weird.
Because he made it dark.
Yeah, it was so dark and weird and out of focus.
The apartment scene is all super. Yeah, that works when it's not in focus. When you're trying to zoom around in an apartment building when it's going on fire, it looks terrible.
I'll agree with you there, but that didn't even take me out of the movie.
Where he did that properly was Gone Girl.
Oh yeah,
he does that really well in later movies, in Gone Girl especially. He does that because he can. He's able to.
But I don't know. I was just thinking,
or Zodiac.
What maybe we should end this podcast with something good that we saw or liked, or just something we liked.
Yeah.
For me, it was Fight Club and watching these old.
Watching these old movies again. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a weird reversal. Because usually I'm the one watching old, weird, fucked up, dark shit in the basement, but the last thing that I watched was Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it. Like, loved the shit out of it. So that's probably the positive note is that Daisy Ridley is the goddamn greatest thing to happen to the Star Wars universe in fucking 30 years. So yes, that's my positive.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's feel good and let's feel good about the shit.
But anyway, so we'll I mean, was that just because I forced you to watch a weird Jesus, like political Jesus movie? Is that where this is coming from? I was like, Andy, let's watch a weird bad Jesus movie.
I'm just thinking of changing things up a little bit and covering a few more things, because some of these movies, we can talk to death, and other ones it's kind of like and some of the I really liked Riccio.
I love Riccio. Yeah.
Some of these other movies I really didn't like, And
I know you really hate the Neil Breen.
I did not care for the Neil Breen movie.
We're doing more Neil Breen, by the way.
I expect nothing less. From
you. Andy's gonna have to suffer through all that. I actually just showed him the trailer. By the way, Neil Breen's trailer for his new movie dropped. It's amazing.
There's a tiger.
There is a tiger. So no, I mean, I'm a big Star Wars junkie. I love Star Wars. Love the new one. Yeah, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to Hateful Eight and The Revenant.
Me
and
too.
The Revenant, I swear to God, Lebetsky's going to get another Oscar for that movie. It looks so good.
I hope it's that good. I really do.
Yeah.
For as much as the crew suffered on that
it was
fucking
shot
thing.
in natural light. All of it.
No, I know. Like in the snow.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to those movies. I'll probably watch those when I'm here by myself over Christmas. But yeah, so I there's a lot to look forward to, and there's more bad movies to look forward to.
Always
Many
more bad movies to look forward to.
Yep. So with that, I guess we'll say adieu.
Yeah, I'm Andy Steinhauer.
I'm Max Weiland.
Peace be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Life Day.
Happy Yule.